in Tel Aviv is standing by for us. Mohammad, Israel is now openly operating on two fronts, Iran and Lebanon. But there are reports that not all of Israel's leaders were actually keen for further conflict with Hezbollah, especially while the attacks on Iran continue.
Indeed, Yashni, but if you allow me to start with the latest news, we just received the early detection alert on our phones telling us that there's a barrage or a number of Iranian missiles fired in the direction of Israel. The short alert went on our phones, and we expect more and public alerts to go off any minute now. And you and I were speaking earlier an hour ago about the decrease in the number of Iranian missiles in the last 24 hours, and Israel was claiming that this was the result of its heavy, intense airstrikes targeting missile platforms and sites across Iran over the past 12 to 24 hours. And they were saying in the military statement that was released last night that expect that more and more of this to become more apparent, meaning that less and less of Iranian missiles to be fired in the direction of Israel. Nevertheless, this is not the scenario that Netanyahu was hoping for. He wanted a quick attack. He wanted a quick war that will bring down the Iranian regime. He was calling for regime change, and also at the same time, he was not thinking that Hezbollah will enter into the fray this quick. There was a meeting on Sunday evening, a security cabinet meeting, where the Israeli officials, among them the prime minister himself, were divided over whether to launch what they called a preemptive attack against Hezbollah. The defense minister, as well as the military chief of staff, they were in favor of launching a surprise attack on Hezbollah because they knew at some point Hezbollah will come to the rescue or help or assistance of its historic ally, Iran. But when the news broke of missiles or rockets being fired from southern Lebanon, and when Hezbollah claimed responsibility, that made it easier for the Israeli military to launch its own attack. And this is something that they've been waiting for over the past year and a half almost or so, ever since signing the ceasefire agreement at the end of November 2024, which Priyanka explained to us very clearly that Israel has been carrying out almost a daily strikes and attacks on Lebanese territory. Now the Sirens are here, and this is the first time, believe it or not, Yashni, that we've heard the wailing or sound of the alerts or sirens in almost 24 hours since yesterday. And this seemed to be these sirens are being activated across the entire country, in the greater Tel Aviv area, over Jerusalem, Ashkelon, Ashdod, as well as the north. And this is not just Iranian missiles. There are also sirens and alerts that drones are also being fired from Lebanon, and that's why we have sirens in the north. About a few minutes before I went on air, there was a siren and also 3 rockets that landed on a border town called Kiryat Yuval. At least 3 people were lightly injured as a result of these rockets. As you can see, here you are. Here they are. Those are the interceptors. Those are the interceptors, Yashni, being fired. And I just want to say that it's easier at night to see them, but the skies are blue and no clouds, which made it also easy for us to catch those. At least 2 interceptors being fired. 1 explosion now. At least the sound of 1 explosion. Here's another one. Yes, and we see this cloud or mushroom like cloud in the skies, which means that was an interception. That means that the rocket that was fired to intercept a missile successfully did so. So again, you would think, here's another explosion, Yashni. Another one. A series of explosions being heard. I'm not sure if you're catching those.
We are able to hear some of them, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, obviously, that was a barrage of Iranian missiles based on the series of explosions that we've just heard over the greater Tel Aviv area. And the sounds of explosions are continuing. If you allow me just a few seconds here to continue to listen. Oh, that's a big one right there. That's a big one. That could be... That's a big one. It could be either a missile that had a direct impact or... but those... Interesting, it's still going, and that shows you that they are trying, meaning the multi-layered Israeli air defense systems are trying to locate and continuously going after these Iranian missiles. And they cover a large area, not just Tel Aviv, but also the larger Tel Aviv area. And they're going over behind those missiles. At this point, it seems that it's over. But this is very interesting because, again, I refer to what you and I spoke about an hour ago. We said that the next few hours and few days will prove whether Israel is correct that it was able to degrade Iranian capabilities in terms of launching these missiles, and whether Israel was successful in the last 24 to 48 hours in destroying as many launching pads and platforms as it claims to have. And we said that let's see, and now we do have these missiles being fired, and I don't think that those are small numbers given the interception that we've just heard, and the explosions that we've also heard. So, and also those sirens, they covered a large part of Israel. They weren't exclusive or limited to the Tel Aviv greater area. I think they went beyond that. We're getting reports that also sirens were activated in southern Israel as well as in the Jerusalem area. Also, Israel is dealing with the north. So at this point, Israel is working on two active fronts. Its military has been spread thin over the past 2+ years as a result of its war in Gaza, but also for a while, Israel, an Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu was claiming that that Israel was involved in at least 7 different fronts, and now these are two fronts. One of them is major, the other one is still. And Israel, as if it was waiting for Hezbollah to launch those rockets. That, by the way, they fell in an open area, Yashni. However, the response from Israel was quick, it was swift and massive, as if Israel was waiting for Hezbollah to initiate such action so they can go after it. At this point, the all-clear sign is here. And by the way, the sirens also now includes, we can add to it, northern Israel and many of the illegal settlements in the occupied West Bank. So it was a large area that these sirens were activated in as a result of Iranian missiles fired onto Israel. Yashni?
Thank you very much, Mohammad Al-Kassim. We are actually getting reports from the Israeli military saying that those sirens went off across central Israel and the north, as you say, the first time in about 10 hours, and the military saying it has been working to shoot down the projectiles. The number of projectiles at this point we're uncertain of, but we'll be checking in with you for an update on that in the coming hour. So Mohammad Al-Kassim there in Tel Aviv, where we've just seen some of those strikes continuing from Iran.